So we've got the aces, new TG, we open, the big blind decides to call, the board is 9, Jack 5, and we are playing versus recreational unknown player, 60 after 10 hands, it means nothing. And on the flop you decide to bet 1/3. I think on this kind of board it's definitely better to bet with the higher amount. If you've seen something, for example, some crazy check raises, I like betting so small, but versus recreational player, we do not use as much 1/3 for value tactics. So if you have the value hand, just bet big. And this kind of board is actually very connected, you know, the 6, 7, 7, 8, Queen 10, King 10, 10, 8. All of these hands are going to call you, no matter what kind of sizing you use. So I would go for 2.7, 2.6 kind of sizing on the flop. But I decided to bet small and big blind re-raise you. The only option I consider right now, after talking to Limitless like half year ago, to re-raise and fold this on the flop. You know, by re-raising, you're going to get value from every single hand, like Jack 10, King, Jack, Queen, Jack. He's going to probably check, raise, and after you re-raise, he's going to call this type of hands. People are not going to jam them. So after you re-raise, the only hands going to jam are maybe Queen 10, which you actually beat. But the rest are two pairs like 9-5, Jack 9, and the sets. So, you know, you are protecting your equity, you are gaining value from best hands. No real reason to avoid it, and Limitless told me about it and I love it. A lot of the time I got a check raise from a fishy one, I re-raise and then fold versus his jam and then get value after he called. So we seen check raise to 3, decides to call, the big blind bets 9 to 9, so it's a pot size bet. I would consider folding here. I mean, if you see something like this, so for example, flop check raise is extremely small, like 3x, but the pot is already free, and after on the turn player bets big, it's something like, oh, I've got the nuts and I didn't build up the pot, so I have to do it right now. So yeah, for me it's just fold probably on the turn and call only Jack 10, Queen 10, 9, 10 type of hands. And the river, he just jammed on the 5. I mean, you probably can't fold it here. He can still bet here Queen Jack, Queen 9, Jack 9, because he's just a stupid one. So after if I would call the turn, I would definitely call this river, but I would just fold the turn if I would be here. The jar, your question was about the sizings. I mean, we can prepare some video about it, but you know, every single fishy guy is different one, so I mean, showdown notes are most important one. But this sizing, if you already asked, I interpret as I said. So small flop raise and then bet big is usually top range.